is the Big O Show. This 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 is the Big O Show. This.
Where can you drive the new 2025 Acura Integra for only $289 a month? There's just one place, Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 volume Acura dealer.
When presenting an award to an employee, athlete, executive, or fantasy GM, make sure you call Orvieto's Awards and More. For 35 years, these custom award specialists have been providing plaques, trophies, custom framing, while providing state-of-the-art laser and computerized engraving, UV printing, and glass crystal etching. They do all their engraving and printing in-house for quality control. Call Charles at 305-949-8098 or visit them at orvietosawards.com. Orvieto's Awards and More, where recognition is rewarding.
For over 16 years, EJDconstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDconstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDconstruction.com.
Oh, great. You have a doorbell camera. Now you have a front row seat to your house getting robbed.
They're breaking into my house!
Ooh, there goes the TV. I'm sure it'll turn up at the pawn shop.
No, not the TV!
Just because you can see them, that doesn't mean you can stop them.
With Slogans, you get 24-hour monitoring, a free home security system, and professional installation.
Plus, free doorbell camera, one that'll actually work for you.
Get out of my house! Get out of the house!
Call 1-800-ALARM-ME.
Where can you drive the new 2025 Acura RDX for only $399 a month? There's just one place, Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 volume Acura dealer.
It starts every morning before the sun comes up. Projects are laid out. Plans are made. Equipment is fueled and loaded with inventory to handle all service requests. Orders are given to an army of skilled landscape maintenance professionals, certified arbor trimmers, irrigation technicians, and licensed pest management experts who fan out to communities and businesses all over South Florida. Experienced, on time, and dependable. Our staff is fully trained, licensed, and insured. Contact us by phone, email, social media, or through our website to answer all your landscape questions. We are Cutter's Edge, Total Landscape Solutions.
After 40 years, the Big Cheese Miami is still producing great Italian food. They started in 1984. Since then, they've been winning awards while being voted the best inexpensive Italian restaurant in Miami. Visit them for great food, amazing service. Witness the decades of Cane's memories. The walls are like a Miami Hurricanes Hall of Fame. The Big Cheese delivers anything on its menu or party platter menu to your home, office, or even a park for a picnic. Located at 8080 Southwest 67th Avenue, Miami. Call 305-662-6855. TheBigCheeseMiami.com, where they serve large portions at family prices.
It's big. It's gigantic. It's the Toyota of Hollywood Super Sale. Over 2,000 Toyotas from just $17,988. Like a Corolla LE, not $24,000, $17,988. Buy with 0% financing, 0 down. Join the fun and get a super deal at Toyota of Hollywood, the #1 volume Toyota dealer on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street. Open till midnight.
South Florida, listen carefully. Osmani Garcia with Omega Realty Group is changing the game. He's not just listing homes. He's guaranteeing to sell yours in 30 days or less, or he'll buy it himself. No excuses, no delays, no fine print games. This is real. If you're serious about selling, call 305-440-1990 and see if your home qualifies. Osmani Garcia delivers results. Osmani Garcia, the home of the 30-day sale guaranteed, where guarantees are backed by action. Call now, don't wait. This market won't wait for you. Restrictions apply. Call 305-440-1990.
Welcome to Caneswear. New store, new items, same great experience. Family owned and operated since 2010, Caneswear has the latest merchandise from the Miami Hurricanes, Miami Dolphins, Florida Panthers, Inter Miami CF, and more. Come visit us at our store in Davie on University Drive, just south of 595, or online at caneswear.com. Caneswear, the spot Miami fans shop.
Before you buy or lease a Honda, Volkswagen, Hyundai, or any other model, compare Subaru, rated #1 in safety at Subaru of Pembroke Pines. Buy with 0.9% financing, 0 down. Forester with symmetrical all-wheel drive, $259 a month. Crosstrek with symmetrical all-wheel drive, $239 a month. During the Subaru A Lot to Love event at Subaru of Pembroke Pines, South Florida's #1 volume Subaru retailer.
When it comes to your smile, confidence is so important. At Moody S Dental, they provide the services to get your smile back. This family-run practice prides itself by offering the latest technology to give your family the best experience possible. Moody S Dental has been in business for over 30 years with offices in Hialeah and Plantation. They accept most major dental insurances. They provide free new patient exams, 20% off select treatments. To qualify, please follow us on Instagram at moodys.dental. Moody S Dental has been in business for over 30 years. To schedule an appointment in Hialeah, call 305-821-0231 and Plantation 954-692-6825. From Invisaligns, dental implants, same-day crowns, and the preventative care and preservation to get your smile back. Go to moodysdental.com to find out more and tell them Big O sent you.
If you're looking to take your home or business to the next level, then RM Contractors can assist you. RM specializes in new residential turnkey, new commercial turnkey, home and office remodeling. Call them for free estimates. Serving all of South Florida, licensed and insured. Call Ray, 305-345-3649. You work hard to create the perfect atmosphere. You dream it, we'll build it. RM Contractors, 305-345-3649. Or Instagram at RMC Fisher Island.
Hi, this is Jeff Welt from Welton Rayom. Dan and I have been in business together for over 22 years. We're not your typical lawyers. When Dan's not working in the office, he's flying his stunt plane. When I'm not in the office, I'm either getting tattooed, bowling, riding a motorcycle, or going to concerts. We might not be your typical attorneys, but we are aggressive attorneys. and we'll do whatever it takes to get you what you deserve. Consultations are always free. Call us anytime, 24/7.
Welton Rayom can help.
Where can you drive a new Acura ZDX for only $439 a month? There's just one place, Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 volume Acura dealer.
The viewpoint, statements, or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc., ownership, management, sponsors, or website. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
Good morning, boys and girls. Welcome aboard. Hope all is well. Hope you're doing well. Hope you had a great weekend, a nice, great, and safe weekend. We got an interesting week. We get to start a Stanley Cup Finals. For the third time in a row, we get to do this, which is pretty amazing. It's going to be a great week. Got the Stanley Cup Finals. By the way, congratulations to Fort Lauderdale United. They ended up getting a draw, so they got into the playoffs in their first year. So they will take on, who is it? Carolina Ascent on Sunday night at 7. So two of our South Florida teams, well, one's already been in the playoffs. They're now in the championship. And the other one is now headed into the playoffs. So that is actually really, really cool. So good stuff. We've got the NBA Finals set as the Knicks were finished off by the Pacers. I still laugh because the idiot Knicks fans celebrated a win in the second round, or I mean in the Eastern Conference Finals, or in the second round. No, in the second round, they tore up the city. Like, come on, man. But I get it. You guys have never been there. You don't really know it, and you see, the last time you guys had a championship teams, it's kind of, you're like Dolphin fans. You know what I'm saying? So it's just one of those things. You don't really know what a really good team looks like. And so you overreact. So now you're out. It's interesting. No real superstar team in the NBA Finals. That's just kind of the way it goes. I'll tell you something. We'll talk to Ira about this tomorrow on the show. The new system for the NBA has created balance. You want, parity, you got it. You can't build super teams anymore. So since you can't build super teams, you're going to lose out on ratings to a certain extent. Yeah. Super teams from all the way back to the 80s till now are a good thing, actually, for the NBA. And now, because of these aprons and all that kind of stuff, you're not going to be able to really have a super team. So it's just, it's interesting the way it's kind of developed and the way the rules are, that what you thought was a disease and was a bad thing for the league, okay, now you've got parity, and pretty much anybody can win if they can kind of get the right combination of players, because you don't need a super team. Need to hit on a couple of young players and then kind of build around it, and you're not going to be able to keep everybody because of the stupid aprons. So it's interesting the way things, and all these teams that went and traded for picks and all, what the teams that did what Philadelphia did after, they did it much better than Philadelphia. And then it's worked out for them. The teams like our team that has normally mortgaged the future by giving away picks, those are the teams that are going to be hurt by this system. And that's why our Miami Heat is behind the 8 ball now, and they're not even close to being a top team. I know it's blasphemous to say, to be honest with people and tell them, hey, dude, the Heat is going nowhere. And, as I said all year, they're not going anywhere, just like the Dolphins, right? I think I predicted that if I tell people that the season is not going to be anything, people would, those soft fans, they would quit on you, right? Maybe not watch the show or anything like that. Dude, I mean, I read this shit pretty good. Doing this for 35 years now, I read you all very well. I read our teams very well. Okay. And this weekend, it was classic because one of our listeners, or so-called listeners, he went after me, right, to Furones, right? But he tagged me too in the X, right? And if you can, Sean, pull it up because it's funny because I've been saying that I don't expect shit from the Dolphins season. It's going to be bad. By the way, I said the same thing about the Heat season all year. All year. You know what I'm saying? And sorry, it's exactly how it went. So this character, George, goes on a separate note. I enjoy your coverage on Dolphin articles. I was caught off guard to hear the season is over. What a disservice to the fans and season ticket holders like me. Tried to hear your segment, had to turn it off. And that's what I'm talking about. Y'all that sell yourselves blindly and just you can't handle the truth and that's what you end up getting. That kind of, and I know, but do I care? No. I care about being honest with you guys. The Heat are going nowhere, and they went nowhere. The Heat are not getting any big players, and they never do. Enough already. Why write all the bullshit that the writers are writing about selling you hopium, that they're going to get this or they're going to get that? They're not going to get anything. They don't have anything to play with. The only thing they can do is play with themselves. And that's about it. They don't have any chips for this poker. They're done. They're out. So, it's funny that you get that. And then I saw that this weekend. And he's got another issue with me too, he's also a Trumpy. So I always make fun of him in that sense too. The bleeding heart Dems and the Trumpies are exactly the same. Very sensitive. They're both extremes on left and right and all that other stuff. So I call that out too. You know what I'm saying? So, he has that too. You know what I mean? So, but it's funny. It's funny. This is what you get. And I knew it. And those of you that are so weak that you don't want to hear the show because I'm telling you the truth about what's going on, how are the Dolphins supposed to be really competitive this year? Let's be honest. It's not going to happen. You're waiting for okay, if you tell me, maybe a miracle. Okay. 2003, I saw that. Maybe a miracle. Okay, if that's it. Tell me at least that. That way it sounds like completely far-fetched and it's crazy and it's not going to happen. But if you start trying to make a real case for it, then that's when I know you're just, you're trying to convince yourselves. And that's what season ticket holder. I'm committed to traveling to 1 or 2 or 10 games. So I have to convince myself they're going to be good because I'm traveling. Dude, travel and enjoy yourself and enjoy the game. Don't expect a positive result all the time. That's all. And if it doesn't happen, so be it. But if you go into this season with the intentions, if you're a Heat fan, if you go into this offseason with the intentions that you're going to land the big fish, or if you go into this coming football season thinking you're going to the playoffs and win, why do you do that to yourselves? Why do you do that to yourselves? That's all. And that reaction is the reaction that writers fear nowadays. It wasn't like that 20, 30 years ago. Writers could write how bad something was or how it's bad. I remember Armando Salguero. This would never happen, dude. I'm going to tell you something that Armando Salguero did 30 years ago. Sean, I want you to look it up for me. Under Shula, we go 9-2 and then lose the next 5. Do you guys, those of you that are hardcore Dolphin fans, do you remember that last couple of years of Shula? It's the early 90s, and I'm doing a show on Radio Acción, 8:30 AM, La Ensalada Deportiva. So I'm doing a Spanish show because before I started in English, I started in Spanish because that was my first in radio. It was motivational and Spanish radio, Colombian and Haitian and all kinds of stuff. You know, I started in the bottom of this business, learning, radio in other places. I didn't have any friends in sports. I didn't have any ins. I didn't have any. Nobody's ever handed me shit in my career. Let's put it that way. I've worked for everything I got. So I'm doing La Ensalada Deportiva, and I can only have certain people on that can actually speak Spanish. And Sean, thank you. Yes, sir. 1993. So it's my third year in the business. I'm doing La Ensalada Deportiva, and it was on in the evenings. So I bring Salguero on, who can speak Spanish. I would bring on Lebitard too. He and I would speak to each other with our broken Spanishes. And Armando was better in Spanish than both of us. But I can only do, certain people. And rarely could I get a basketball player. There were maybe 2 or 3 in the entire NBA. Baseball, I would grab the blue book from baseball or the black book. I think it's a black book from baseball, I think, back in those days. And back then, you would have all the road hotels for every team. And the players would I could call Juan Gonzalez, and he would be under the name Juan Gonzalez. It was a different time. They didn't do fake names like they do now. Okay. So I would cold call hotel rooms for baseball players. And I said Juan because I got Juan once. Cold call. I got Pudge once. Cold call. Pudge. Like I called him in the room. I explained who I was. I'm doing a Spanish sports talk show in Miami. I'd love to have you on. And once they hear that, usually Hispanic players were like, they would light up. They'll go, really? Wow. Oh, yeah, let's do it. It was really cool back in those days. Different era, different time, different people, different reporting. Difference is what Salguero did then, I still do to this day. I grew up with Mandich, bro. And, Mandich and Hank and Neil. I mean, Ed Kaplan. A lot of you people have no idea who the hell I'm talking about and who they were and how they broadcasted and their styles and all that. Those of you that do, where I come from. Okay. We tell it like it is. They don't do that anymore. No writer is going to tell you, hey, don't look forward to this Heat season like they're going to. No writer will write that. Armando Salguero, because I got to say Armando Salguero, because he put his nuts right on the table. And he goes, hey, Dolphin fans, We're on a roll right here. They're 9-2. But I got to tell you something. I walk into that locker room and it don't smell too rosy for me. Something's bad in here. Something bad is about to happen. Armando got killed. Oh, how can you say that? That. They went on to lose 5 in a row and missed the playoffs. They were 9-2. Rolling. We're all feeling good. I'm in my 3rd year. I don't have the insight that Armando has. And I'm going to camp, not nearly as much. I would go like once every week or something like that. I didn't have as much time when I was doing the Spanish because my life was a little bit more complicated. But anyway, but I didn't have the insight because I was young. I was a kid in the business, man. I was a baby. I was learning from Armando. I was learning from Alex Marvez. I was learning from Jason Cole. I was picking their brains and watching them do the job. And then I can, learn. You know what I'm saying? And he walks in the locker room every day and he talks to guys. We're 9-2. Not following off season of disappointment and all that kind of stuff like we're doing now and defections everywhere. And I'm telling you, it's not going to be a good year, which is it really that hard to predict? Is it really that hard to foresee or foreshadow? I'm sorry. Not really, but we get all these sensitive people like the George dude. I think his name was George or whatever. Oh my God, to hear the season's over. Furones was quick to tell him that was not me saying. Of course, because if Furones or if any of these writers, their editors catch them writing that, I wonder if Armando Salguero could do that nowadays. Could walk into his editor and say, bro, they're rolling, they're 9-2. I know, I get it, but this team's about to implode. Nobody knew it. No one knew it. No one. Not a damn person knew it except Salguero. And people were calling the show and were freaking out and all that shit. They were losing their minds. We were 9-2. We were kick, push, and coast. We thought we were the shit. We thought we were headed for a deep run in the playoffs. I laugh because nothing's changed. Today, that day, whatever. Okay? They lost 5 in a row. It's just a weird dynamic now that I live in and work in. And that's why I'm a dinosaur. That's why I'm completely different than anybody that's on any radio station here locally. Not even close. Because they can't do it. They can't do what I do. Writers can't write what I say. The truth. Because the truth doesn't sell. That's all we care about, bro. Just like the team or the owner or somebody else is worried about the bottom line, so are the bosses in our business. So if the air is left, we must float left. If the air is right, we must broadcast more right. Because that's where the money flows. It's funny, man. It's a different, media is different. And what Armando Salguero did in 1993, I believe Sean just said. Am I wrong here, Sean? Can anybody do that nowadays at 9-2 in the middle of a season, come out and write and say, yeah, no, it's going to be over? It's not, I'm wrong here?
Not if they want to keep their jobs.
Not if they don't want to piss off the team.
Yeah.
And then the team cuts your access. Because that's how they do it nowadays. You ask them questions they don't want, they cut your access. They say you're bad people. You say what they don't want to hear, they cut your access. Enjoy this while it lasts, because you won't have this perspective, you won't have this experience, you won't have this brutal honesty anywhere. That shit is dying, bro. And Sean just nailed it, because they're worried about their jobs, and God bless them, they gotta. I don't worry about my job because I am my job. So I'll fire myself when I want to leave, and I'm done. This is the month, by the way, we complete 5 years on the platform by ourselves. On the 14th, I believe it is 5 years on the platform by ourselves, which is a hell of an accomplishment. Thanks to you all. Thanks to everything you do, hitting the like button, which only 40 to 108 watching, for the honesty. Come on. Thank you to all that you make donations, super chats. Thank you for visiting our amazing sponsors like Caneswear. Get 10% off your Panthers gear. Oh, everything. Use our code BIG010. And if you go buy an Acura, a Toyota, Subaru at Craig Zinn's, make sure you tell them about us. Please. All those kind of things. We need it. We need it. If you want us to keep the honesty around and tell you. Okay? If you want to be lied to, there's plenty of people out there that they'll feed that echo chamber for you. I'll tell you when they're great, when I think they are. I might be wrong. I'll tell you when they're bad, when I think they are, and I might be wrong. But at least I'm going to be honest about it. And when I'm wrong, I'll tell you right out, yeah, I got that one wrong. Damn. By the way, one that we got right is Bitcoin. It's hovering around 104,000. Since we told you at 16,000. What do we got? The Dow is down 247 points. The steel stuff with raising the tariffs to 50%, I'm sure, is kind of affecting things. S&P's down 23 points. And the NASDAQ is barely down. We'll see how things work out there. I truly believe, by the way, Bitcoin is getting ready to explode. Big time. Big time. Remember, you can make a donation to the show, Cash App or Venmo, at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show, Cash App or Venmo. And you can make a Bitcoin or Ethereum donation, which we always appreciate it. On Venmo, you can make a Bitcoin, Ethereum, Chainlink, or Solana donation, which we always love that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. True Fin fan, I see super chat there. Disservice, lying is a good thing. Who knew? Yeah. Lying keeps you sometimes in check with the people that are above you, watching you, listening to you, reading you, because you got to feed them some bullshit. And that's just so wrong. It's so wrong for me to come out here and then we're going to have a shot at Durant, and we're going to have a shot at Donovan Mitchell, and we're going to have a shot at, whoever, all these people in the past, and whoever you're going to talk about this year. You're going to talk about Durant again this year, or Giannis. Come on, dude. Seriously? Is that what we're doing? I can't do that to you guys. I will not do that to you guys. And then go with you guys and act disappointed and act fake. Come on, man. Why? Because some people might be pissed off going back into the locker rooms, or the team worried that you talk negative about them or whatever. Well, then, bro, you got to do your job. Got to do your job. I do my job here. I'm not tied to any team. I'm not tied to any person, any agent, or anything like that. I just call it like I see it. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm right. But at least I gave you my honest opinion on it. And that's it. And that's all you should be able to get, you know? True Fin Fan again with another super chat. He goes, that's why I don't listen or read any reports. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. There's still good people out there. It's hard to be completely honest. They just have a hard time. And I prove it all the time that it's just a thing that they don't do anymore. You know? And I gave you the Salguero example. Show me somebody that does that now here. Nobody. Bro, Salguero, I don't know if any of you remember it, but like people freaked out with that shit. Like they lost their minds. I can't imagine what would happen now at 9-2 and somebody comes out and says, yeah, no, everything's great. It's 9-2, but we're about to go into a funk because something's messed up. People would call you a hater. You're a bad person. You're trying to bring down the franchise when you have nothing to do with it. They control everything. Their destiny, their future, their present, their past, their future, everything. They control it. We control nothing. Nothing by what we write, we talk about, nothing. Wait, you sit in the stands and cheer and pray, and what happens? Does it come through? No, because you have no impact. No matter how many times you wear your lucky jersey or go and sit in the same place or whatever, the Dolphins have been the Dolphins for 40 years. Because nothing we do on the periphery has any impact on anything that they do. Because everybody does great shit. Dude, I was positive the last couple of years about their potential, wasn't I? I got Airbnbs in the Super Bowl cities because talent-wise, you had an opportunity. Unfortunately, you don't have the cook, in the kitchen. And we found that out. And now I'm done with that cook. The guy is a dishwasher. He's not a cook. Corso. Thank you, sir, for the love on the super chat. You still think if McDaniel goes 5-0, you'll change your mind about him? No, I don't know. I know who he is, Now, is it a 5-0 where you're running the ball 150 plus yards a game and you're truly committed to the run? Maybe I can start to, wow, is there hope here? That's about it. But not 5-0, just 5-0, because that doesn't mean anything, as you all know. Did I not tell a story about 9-2 there, Sean? With Don Shula. 9-2 and Don Shula. 5-0 McDaniel. Yeah. That always comes up after. Then comes the challenge. Well, are you going to this and that? And, I'm not a waffler, bro. I'll be proven wrong, and then I can change it. But I'm not the first sign of something, Baseball. Marlins will lose 100 games. They win a couple. I got a couple guys on the chat board like, hey, what is it? It's like, dude, it's 162 games. Chill out. They'll do their share of losing a ton of 2 or 3s. They'll get swept a bunch of times. They'll pick up some wins. They got the Rockies coming up. Washington is coming up again. You'll get a couple of those teams where you'll pick up some cheap victories. The Pirates, I'm sure, will roll around, and like in the first part of the first week where you picked up 3 or 4 and you think there's something good happening. No, bro, you beat the Pirates. No big deal. Eventually, young arms will tire out in the second half. There's a lot of things that happen. Sandy will get traded, all that kind of stuff. So, injuries. lack of depth, all that will catch up to them in the second half, in the summer, and all that, and they're going to lose a shitload of games. Patience. But I get this all the time, Corso. I've done this for 35 years, bro. You say something, and then they come to, well, you're going to change your mind if this. Just like the boys that come on the chat board because they win 2 games in baseball. Hey, are you watching the Marlins? First of all, I'm not watching at all. I see the scoreboard, but that's about it. It's funny. True Fin fan says, you retire, so will I. I'm too old for this BS. Oh, man. Well, I don't plan on retiring for a while. So as long as you guys will have me, support us, me and Sean, because without Sean, I can't do it either. Yeah. Definitely. Dude, at the beginning when I was trying to do all kinds of crazy shit and growing, the one thing I realized is then I would have to try to find other people to work. And one of the things that I learned in Onsite and in the Man was finding people that are reliable is near impossible. Hell, I was trying to develop a host that couldn't even get on time. You know what I mean? It was terrible. So I was starting to think, I'm going to start growing this thing and I'm going to overwork my ass. And I can't find people that are like me and Sean. Because you can't. It's like the weirdest thing to find people that are actually are really responsible, and committed and consistent. And it's just and I said, I'll just do things just for us. Just do enough for us. And screw the rest. It's crazy, man. So I don't plan on going anywhere. I don't plan on getting anything crazy either. I plan on kind of keeping it conservative where we're at. And as long as I can do that, then we're good. We're good. And we'll keep giving you guys the best insight out there on all our local teams, no matter what's going on. I just appreciate all of you out there, and please smash the hell out of the like button. Let's see. What do I got here? Big O, I want to buy Bitcoin in an IRA, but I can't get past not holding my own keys. I can only imagine the tax rate when I retire. Dude, call a professional and ask those kind of questions. Okay? You got to just find somebody that handles crypto and the accounting part of it and ask them all those kind of questions. Okay? That way you can clear it from your head, get a real professional. Personally, for me, I am not a professional, never have been, never will be. I am a strong believer of owning the Bitcoin. I don't want to buy an ETF. I don't want to buy an ETP. I don't want to put it in an IRA. I don't want to have someone else hold it. Nothing. So I believe the best way is to own it and not have somebody else managing it. And then if it becomes incredibly profitable, they still control it and you don't. And then that's when you're going to regret when the asset goes to $3 million. Now you're sharing it with somebody and you're paying somebody to be the custodial, and you're paying somebody for security, and you're paying somebody for all of that shit. And I'm just a strong believer in you owning your Bitcoin. And that's all. So what little you have, whether it's 100, 1,000, if God bless you, if you can own 50 or 100,000 or 500,000 or a million or whatever, just put it in a cold storage wallet with 12 words and nobody could ever touch it. That's it. That's all. And don't ever put the 12 words online anywhere. On your phone, internet, nowhere. Okay? All right? Put it in a safety deposit box somewhere, leave it in your bank somewhere, and that's it. Boom. Don't mess with it. Okay? Put it somewhere else, another home. Just stash it. Make it disappear. Put it somewhere else. And that's it. And you're fine. Never have to worry about it. And just keep saving your Bitcoin. Saving your Bitcoin. That's it. Let's see. True Finn fan. There's nobody left. Big O can't retire. Thank you, guys. I don't plan on going anywhere. Okay. Don't plan on going anywhere. I plan on doing this for several years if I can. It's up to you guys, obviously. Ted says, I always loved Ed Kaplan was proudly promoting gambling and the pari-mutuels. Yes. Before gambling was open and everything, Ed Kaplan was ahead of the game. And also brutally honest about whatever it was. McMillan says, if we beat the Bills, I'm back on the wagon, especially if they win the division and a playoff game. Why are you off the bandwagon? Who's off the bandwagon? I don't understand that. What is on and off the bandwagon? Do you guys know the definition of that? Bandwagon is people that get on a team that just started winning and they weren't their fans. That's bandwagon fans. Those of us that we love them from beginning to end and we can be pissed at them and we can say they're going to suck. You're not off the bandwagon. I'm not some of you out there, I think you really don't know English. You really don't know the definition of words or how to use them sometimes. You're always on the bandwagon if you're a fan, unless you became like a Bills fan or a Raiders fan, and because the Dolphins are not getting it done, oh no, I'm going to become an Eagles fan now because they're winning. And then if the Dolphins win, I get back on. Well, that's a bandwagon fan. A fan that's pissed at their team. I'm still a Marlins fan. For Christ's sake, a couple of months ago, I bought a Marlins hat at Caneswear that I liked. It was really cool. In fact, I saw over the weekend the one with the purplish 305 thing. I want that one. And they suck. And I don't watch them because they're not going to win. They're not, because I got an owner that doesn't try, but I'm a Marlins fan. What can I do? No, I'm not stupid. I'm not going to be abused. And that's what they do. I'll watch the Dolphins religiously, even though I know they're not going anywhere. I'll watch the Heat religiously when I know they're not going to get any stars. And they're not going to have any stars next year because Tyler and Bam aren't stars. And I still watch. I watch every game. And I know the Heat weren't going anywhere. Does that mean I'm off the bandwagon of the Heat? No. I just know who the Heat are. They're a mediocre organization. Their front office has been less than average in the last 10 years, which is embarrassing for Pat Riley. Honesty. That's all. Honesty. On the bandwagon, off the bandwagon. No, that's if you just became an Eagles fan. That's a bandwagon fan. That's how it goes. By the way, the Miami Herald. Sean, you may want to take off the billboard there. I want to show what the Herald is doing now for you ladies. It's providing a service. There's Larsa Pippen, Miami housewife. Larsa Pippen knows a few things about dating. Let her help you. By the way, this is the second time the Herald puts this up. They did it over the weekend, and I took a shot at them, and I took a shot again because, ladies, the Herald teaches you how to be a hoe. Seriously, the Herald has put together an article on dating from Larsa Pippen. Dating tips from Larsa Pippen. Who are the women that are sitting there going, oh, I read Larsa's article. I should do this next time I go out because she knows about this. I mean, seriously. Is that what we're talking about here? This is media nowadays. They won't tell you the truth about your teams. And they assume women want to be widely known. They assume women want to be very accommodating. A human parking lot. Okay. You know, just I found it kind of interesting that the Herald would do that. Okay. So pass that article on to any woman out there that is looking to be a hoe, because that right there is just top-notch material right there. By the way, I see Jeff in Long Island was number 1. I see Ocala Joe headed to the beach. Thank you. And he's smashing it too in the like button. Jalen Ramsey trade day. We'll see if it happens, when it happens. How much will the Dolphins end up having to eat of that contract? They're not going to get much of a pick. It's got to be a really late third-day pick, I would imagine. I don't even think you'll get much, because if they got to take that salary in. Now, if you want a higher pick, you're going to have to take some of that salary, and that's just, it's so terrible. Big O, which band do you think represents the quintessential grunge sound? For me, it's Alice in Chains, Nirvana, Soundgarden. Hard rock, metal, grunge, Pearl Jam can play everything. Your thoughts? Well, I always think of Nirvana number 1 when it comes to grunge. That's who I think of. Okay, and then Pearl Jam's right after, actually. So yeah, I kind of think of those. When I think of rock metal, grunge, that would be Pearl Jam. But rock metal would be another conversation. What else do we have here? Hello, Lisa. Good morning to you. Good morning to Rosendo, Skylar Tipton, Ted, Denardo, Evan Langley, Captain Saki. He is checking in from Boca Grande. That's what they call me sometimes. That's what they call Larsa also. What else do we have? Lenny says, I remember that, Big O. It's painful. It was the year Marino injured his Achilles in Cleveland. Was it? Was that the same year? I don't think so. Was that the same year? No, I think they were flying. It wasn't an Achilles injury that why they lost to 5. No, I don't think that's what it was, dude. Unless I'm wrong. But if I remember correctly, the Achilles happened early and then Scott Mitchell won a bunch of games. Yeah.
Yeah, he ruptured the Achilles tendon in the 6th game in the 93 season. So they would have been 6 games in. That's 11, 9-2. So they played 5 games without Marino up to that point to be 9-2.
That's what it was. That's what it was. You're right. He did get injured, and then Mitchell went on a row, and then Salguero came on and said, oh, this shit's not going to last. And everybody was like losing their freaking minds. You're right. He injured, and then Mitchell got on a roll and went 5-1, 4-1. What's that article say there, Sean? He went, and then Cody wrote the article, trade Marino, keep Mitchell, all that shit. And, poor Cody has never lived down that one because that one was not supposed to be written. You never trade Marino, bro. Just never trade. What you're supposed to do is build right around Marino, and we never built right around Marino. And Just like we're doing now, we're not building right around Tua. It's the same thing. Kind of the same thing. Different level player, obviously. Marino is a complete freak. Jesus. God, you only get one of those, dude.
So it looks like he was 3-1. So Mitchell must have been 6-1 for the year.
Wow.
I'm not sure how he was in the 6th week and he was only 3-1. I don't know if there was, I can't remember back if he missed a game here or there because of that or what.
Did somebody else play or something?
I don't know exactly what, but they were 6-1 without Marino up to that point.
That was so long ago, but we were rolling, dude. We were 9-2. And Salguero comes on and says, yeah, no, this is not good. We're like, what? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? I was like you guys at that time because I didn't have any insight in there. I didn't know, and nobody else knew. I don't know what he knew. I don't know what he knew. You know what? I've never even asked him years later, like, what was it that gave it away? Because he could actually now say it. But something Salguero came out with, and he freaking nailed it, dude. Absolutely nailed it. I've been a Dolphin fan since the first football game I ever watched. It was Dan Marino defeated the Pittsburgh Steelers in the 84 AFC Championship game. I was 9 years old. Most media is complete slop. That's why I watch the Big O radio show. He keeps it real, no BS. Thank you, Ian. Very nice of you. We got a lot of good media members. They do a lot of good work. Now, some may not go to a certain extreme. You know what I'm saying? And they got to protect their jobs. So I get it, man. I get it. Even when I was in QAM, I didn't worry about my job. I said what was on my mind. So in the end, I think I may have hung around because usually I was always right. And it's not like I'm saying something crazy and then it didn't end up happening. Usually ends up happening. So that's why. Remember when fans wanted Mitchell as a starter and talks about, it was, I don't know how many real, I got to tell you, Rosendo, I lived that. And I don't remember many people agreeing with Greg Cody at all. I'm sorry. I remember it differently, Rosendo. I remember almost everybody pretty much calling Cody an idiot. That's what I remember. I remember everybody disagreeing with Cody. Everybody, pretty much. So I'm not exactly sure where was your neighborhood at or how they were thinking, but I remember Cody taking a ton. Look, man, there are two things that I've watched in my career. Two writers take the most heat in South Florida history. Greg Cody is one for wanting to trade Marino. Bro, everybody killed his ass for that. So did I back in those days. And to this day, it's a ridiculous notion. Then, now, and forever. The other one was, anybody know which is the other article that should have never been written and it was just a stupid article? I'm sure Cody will admit that it was a stupid article. Got plenty of run and it got notice and all that, but it was a dumb article. And we all say dumb things, do dumb things, write dumb things. Everybody will admit that. Can anybody tell me which is the other writer in town that wrote a catastrophically stupid article? Anybody? Let me see if out of the 117 you can name the writer. There you go. Manolo, you're pretty good, bro. You're pretty effing good, bro. Stupid article. Change the name of the Miami Hurricanes after the storm. Linda Robertson. Terrific person, terrific writer, reporter. She does excellent work. Greg Cody's a trip. He's always been a good writer. Makes you fun, laugh, and the bird stuff with the picks over the years and all that other stuff. Cody's terrific too. Dumb article. Linda Robertson, after Hurricane Andrew, wrote that the Miami Hurricanes should change their name. She got killed for that one too. And by the way, deservingly so. The two dumbest articles in the history of South Florida sports were written in the Miami Herald and written by Greg Cody and Linda Robertson. Those are the two dumbest articles in the history of all of South Florida sports. Except for Rosendo, which I'm not exactly sure, again, his neighborhood. But I never met a person that agreed with Cody. Ever. And I don't remember anybody agreeing with Linda Robertson either. Yes, sir.
All right, digging a little more on this 93 team, okay?
Yes.
There are some things about the quarterback. So Mitchell filled in for Marino, but then he got injured, leaving the then 9-2 team in the hands of Doug Peterson and NFL veteran Steve DeBerg.
Oh, okay. All right, DeBerg was solid as a backup that can keep you afloat for a game or two. If you had him as a starter, you had a bad starter. And then who was the other guy you said?
The great Doug Peterson.
Oh, yeah. And then you won 325 with Doug Peterson. You only won one game with Doug Peterson against the Eagles, by the way. Was it that same year?
Yeah, that was the year 93. I looked up 93 Miami Dolphins.
A lot of shit. God damn, a lot of shit happened in 93. I forgot about it.
They were 9-2 on Thanksgiving Day.
Yeah, Mitchell went for it. Shula got his 325 with Peterson. I think, didn't DeBerg suffer like a chin injury or some shit and it was bleeding or something? Was that the year too? Damn, a lot of shit happened in 93. Holy crap. Yeah, because I think DeBerg in one of those starts, now you're mentioning it, he took a shot and he was bleeding and then came back and there was like this big ass bandage that he had then he had the chin strap over it. If I remember correctly, right? Or some shit like that.
I'll do some looking up on that one.
Manolo says he was a bloody mess. After 9/11, the Anthrax band said that they are not changing their name. Yeah, whatever. I mean, but this is just a whole different thing. Jeff says, I was 25 and I really thought Mitchell was going to be a star, but I never wanted to trade Marino. But I thought he carried might be his carrier might be coming to an end due to his injury. Oh, his career. I see what you're saying. His career might be coming to an end because of the injury. Yeah. Dude, the only problem with Marino was we didn't build right around him. That's all, dude. We didn't build, and we're doing that again. We got a quarterback, and we can't build right around him. You know? You got to know who your quarterback is, and then build around them so you can complement them. We didn't complement Marino, and we haven't complimented Tua. So it's a different decade, different organization, different owner, different front office, same issue. We have the quarterback, and we don't know how to actually, he came from a place that you should know. Oh, wait, he came from Alabama. They had a strong line. They ran the ball, and they had a great defense. Let's do that. No, let's not. Let's not build a strong offensive line. Let's not build a punishing running game. Nah. Let Baltimore do it. They already have a quarterback that can run, or a running back that tries to play quarterback. Let's just add Derrick Henry to it. But here in Miami, no. What do you need Derrick Henry for? No, We'll go with Devon Achane and give him 8,000 carries. Let's give a 142-pound back 800 carries because that's the smart thing to do. Greg Cody was clickbaiting before clickbaiting was the thing. Wow. Yeah, basically. Extend Jonnu Smith or sign a decent free agent cornerback, which is more important to the team. Yeah. You didn't listen to the show last week, obviously, but that's all right. I already explained why they're not actually investing in Jonnu Smith. So may want to check why. Oh, by the way, last night, first of all, do want to remind you that Toyota of Hollywood, a proud sponsor of our program, 1841 North State Road 7 in Hollywood, right on 441 between Hollywood and Sheridan. And please, if you go by there and you're looking for a new vehicle, certified pre-owned, they've got thousands of vehicles. They got 2,000 vehicles in place. They've got 1,200 new vehicles, great selection. So if you're looking for an incredibly reliable vehicle, I know because I've had a Camry, got one now. I've had a hybrid in the past. My daughter's driving a Corolla right now, so we know Toyota's an amazing car. You all know that, and super reliable. So get on down there and tell them that Big O sent you, and I promise they'll take care of you there at Toyota of Hollywood. Drew Rosenhaus was on yesterday, and speaking of Jonnu Smith, since somebody just brought it up now on Jonnu Smith and the contract, I explained to you last week why they're not doing it. I think in a way it's because they're not investing in this coach anymore, as you've seen the entire offseason. There's no investment. None. They're done with him. They're going to let him sink or swim with whatever he has, and then they're going to make the transition at one point or another. If he does great, good for all of us. Good for them. But if he does terrible, they'll fire him and they'll put Weaver in place and they move on. But I don't think they're going to spend any more money because you don't know who's the offensive coordinator in the future. And he may not like Jonnu. And so they've kind of been through this already. And the changing of the coaches. This is what I was telling you. We're always going to disagree on this. I think Chris Greer does an excellent job finding personnel. Okay? I think his bugaboo has been coaching. And he hasn't found the right coach. And then all the coaching changes and assistant coaching changes forces you into all kinds of turnover in player personnel. And then you have appeased all of that, which then has created a negative environment for you. Now, if they clean house, I totally understand. If they get rid of McDaniel and they only keep Greer, I'm going to be cool with that. I know most of you won't. I get it. I totally understand that. Okay? But going back to the fact that they're not committed this year to really giving McDaniel everything and anything he needs because they've already done that for several years and it didn't work out. Rosenhaus last night on Channel 7, on his commercial on Channel 7, on his promotion on Channel 7, said that, Jonnu Smith wants to stay here, and this is his hometown, and this is the team he wanted to play for, and all that kind of crap, okay? Which is all the right things that you have to say. But he and the player know that he's 29, and he's risking playing on this final year and then injures himself, and he's got no guarantees. And he's risking his final year on a shitty team that isn't even trying to win. And they're going to use him a lot like they did last year. So he knows he's going to put up numbers, but he's also going to be a risk for injury. So he wants guarantees. And now the Dolphins aren't willing to make guarantees because they don't know what changes they're going to make. But Drew Rosenhaus can't come out and say, well, my client is 29 years old. He's got a year left on this deal. and he's risking it for a team that really isn't trying to win. And, we need some assurances and some guarantees for his future. He's not going to say that. So he's going to sell you the BS. You know why I know it's BS? Because in the same interview, when asked about his client Tyreek Hill and how Tyreek said he shouldn't be a leader and he's got to earn it and all that, which is true, instead of saying, I'm so proud of Tyreek. He's fighting through the adversity, and I know he's going to come through and prove to everybody that he is a leader on the field. Not say that he's supposed to be, but he, instead of that, keeping it general and all that kind of stuff. No, I would vote Tyreek a captain, which nobody in their right minds would ever vote Tyreek captain. That guy does not represent anything that you want from a captain at all. And you like he last week, well, I got to prove myself in OTAs. OTAs, you don't prove shit, dude. Remember that conversation we've had about, well, you're a good father if you provide for your family. No, you're not. That's your father. You told your kid you love him. You're not a good father. You're a father. You're doing what you're supposed to do. When you go to OTAs and practice hard and all that, you're doing what you're supposed to do. It's when the regular season starts. It's when push comes to shove. When you don't run the wrong route. When you catch the football consistently and in key moments. When you don't fumble. When you don't quit on your team. That's when you prove it. Not in the preseason, not in an OTA, not in a practice. You're only doing what you're supposed to do. But that's this world that we live in. And so with that one fell swoop, I just want you to I want to remind you that everything that Drew Rosenhaus says just doesn't mean anything at all. That's it. All he's doing is going to cover up for his client, no matter what. So once you said that, it's not that you had any credibility with me in the first place, but, just another reminder. So what you told me with Jonnu Smith doesn't mean shit to me, because I know what I heard from you about Tyreek Hill. I just found that funny as hell. Rosenhaus with his own misdirection. Crazy. So when do we find out about Jalen Ramsey? When's that going to happen, ladies and gentlemen? So Jalen Ramsey, Jonnu Smith, about to walk out that door. And I know that Jason Sarney reported Ramsey at an LA Fitness. So people are now assuming Rams again. I don't know if he'll go back to the Rams. I'm not exactly sure. Maybe they'll take him if the Dolphins are going to pay like a majority of the salary, because they got rid of him. So if they're going to take him, they're going to take him on their terms. They're not going to take him at a high price. I think he just likes to hang out in LA. But what do I know? I don't have any insight on where Jalen Ramsey is going. So it's easy to assume LA, because obviously he's at an LA Fitness and he's playing a pickup basketball game. So people start to assume, oh, he's going back to the Rams. I don't know. No idea. No idea. But the sad part is that he's leaving. And I don't blame him. I don't blame him, because he wants out of a bad situation. What I'm telling you, what I see, and I know, some of you out there can't handle the truth. he sees. Team has no depth. He was going to be playing with nobody in the secondary. He was going to have to carry the whole secondary. Like 2 years ago, he played more center field and have to worry about things. Yeah, you can't do that. So it really is a sad situation because you can't replace him. Even though he may not be elite anymore, he's still way better than anything you have. And then like Jonnu Smith, you can't replace him. Julian Hill has talent, but he's never put it together. And you can't count on him. You can only count on Julian Hill to disappoint you. That's the screwed up part. All that talent, and he hasn't come through, so we can't even count on the guy. It's crazy. But this is a week where you lose, or this month where you probably lose 2 players that are so important and so unreplaceable. It's insanity because you have Rasul Butler, you have Asante Samuel Jr. I mean, you've got some guys out there, but it's nothing special. What do we have? Paul Maurice is a Florida legend. He's definitely working on that. That's for sure. Gerard, I met DeBerg at Saddlebrook Resort in North Tampa. I was a tennis coach there, and he had a QB academy there. Super nice guy. Yes, very classy guy, very smart guy, great ball handling skills. And what I mean by that is he was fantastic at fake handoffs and tricking the defense and all of that. He wasn't a great quarterback ever. He had a decent arm. He could make a few throws for you. He could help you. You know what I mean? He wasn't going to carry you. He wasn't going to be the ultimate difference maker or anything like that. But when it came to taking that snap and faking the defense, whether he handed it off or not, dude, he's one of the best in the history of the NFL doing that. One of the best. And because of that, believe it or not, when you have that skill that you can confuse a linebacker, not sure if you have the ball or not, that just bought you a half a second. And if you're not Marino, Montana, Namath, Mahomes, whatever, elite of the elite, if you're not one of those kind of guys and you're the secondary, third level kind of guy, that half a second or that second, because you knew how to have great ball skills, is golden, bro. Golden. It gives you a break that other quarterbacks will not have. Because Marino sucked at it because he didn't need it. But he wasn't great at it. It wasn't his thing. Tua's good at it, actually. Tua's very good at it. But Steve DeBerg may be top 5 in the history of the NFL. Top 5 in the history of the NFL. Seriously. Really, really good. Really coordinated. Because sometimes the handoff isn't straight, like drop back, boom. Sometimes there's like a little shift or something, and he was great at it, dude. So good. So good. So I can see him as a QB coach teaching that to young players and making them better quarterbacks with that part of the game. And he can throw. Just he wasn't elite at it, that's all. Nothing wrong with that. Over and under on how many goals you think Connor McDavid and Leon Krapsidel will score in the series. I say 4 goals total in the 6 games. Panthers win in 6. 4-2. All right. True Fin fan Big O was there a year before Miami started 7-0 and finished 9-7. Sean, can you help me out there? Was there a year Miami started 7-0 and finished 9-7? I mean, that's so Dolphins. That sounds about right. I think we've done that. I think you might be right. But you're making Sean have to look that up. That's not very difficult. I mean, that's very difficult to do. I wonder if you just put on
1997. They started 7-0. They ultimately finished with a 9-7 record. Did not make the playoffs.
What year was it? 97?
97. Yeah, they put the statement that the Dolphins started 7-0 and finished 9-7 is a slight oversimplification. That's on Sports Illustrated.
Okay. And that's with Marino. Can you imagine if Tua goes 7-0 and then 2-9? Or was it 2-5 after? Oh my God. Anyway, again, we just did a disservice to Marino. It's just the way it goes, Bro, Sasha Barkov has won the Selke Trophy and the King Clancy Memorial Trophy because he's the man. I'm driving and I can't text much. I hope Big O sees my question. We did, my brother. We got you. Have Lourdes text while you drive. Don't want you driving and texting while you got Lourdes there too. You know what I'm saying? Have the co-pilot text. Let's see. I can't wait to see if Tua learns anything. I hope so. I think he's going to have a good season. Dolphin Dave, if he learns how to have an offensive line that can block, that'll be good for him. If he learns to have a running game that can actually run the ball, that'll be good for him. If they don't trade away his only tight end he's had in 4 years, that'll be good for him. I'm not sure what he needs to learn. I think it's everybody else around him needs to learn. He's not the problem. Problem is you don't block. Problem is you don't run. Problem is you don't coach. And when you can't do that, you can't expect a quarterback to overcome that. So, it's just kind of, I don't understand that at all. Mr. Spock, thank God for the Panthers and the Big O show to take the mind out of the misery and sad state with the Fins. Yeah, unfortunately. My expectations for Patrick Paul is that he becomes a player this year and does the damn job at left tackle. That's what they drafted him to do. So he better be the guy. Okay? Better be that guy. They need him badly. I just told you, if you don't give to a line or any of these kind of quarterbacks, you're not going anywhere. So let's hope so. You know what I mean? But I like Patrick Paul. He looks to me like he's got mentally, physically, everything. All right, let's get to our 3A Graphics sports calendar. Finals are set Wednesday, 8 o'clock, TNT. Your Florida Panthers visit the Edmonton Oilers for Game 1. Edmonton is favored minus 120 for the series. Florida plus 100, so they're even for the series. Congratulations to Fort Lauderdale United. They pulled a draw with Spokane on Saturday night, 1-1. And with that tie, that gives them enough points to get into the playoffs. So they're into the playoffs in their first season. And Sunday, they will take on the Carolina Ascent FC at 7 o'clock. You can catch it on Peacock, by the way, if you want to catch it. Pacers eliminated the Knicks as expected, 125-108. They win the series 4-2. So we've got Indy and OKC Thursday at 8:30. OKC favored by 9. Over and under is 230. And Miami FC, they defeat FC Naples 3-2 at Pitbull Stadium. Saturday, they're at Rhode Island. And Inter Miami with a big win. They come up with a nice win against Columbus. Red hot start, 5-1. Messi scores 2 goals early, and they cruise. They're off till June 14th, and then that's when they start the FIFA Cup World Cup play. FIFA Club World Cup play, and they'll take Al Ali, I think it's called, how it's pronounced. So we'll see if they can advance there. That is your 3A Graphics sports calendar. By the way, Sean, did you agree with Siakam winning the MVP? I didn't.
Not
It
really.
was kind of, Halliburton was like kind of walking towards it, thinking he should have won it, and they gave it to Siakam. Did you see that? No, you didn't see it?
No, I didn't see the actual ceremony, but I did believe that Halliburton, I mean, the games they lost, he didn't play well.
Yeah, right. You're right. But he's, man, I don't know how you give it to Siakam. Those people that voted, God, they dropped the ball. Again, Siakam played great. Don't get me wrong, but Halliburton was the MVP of that series, dude. I don't know. I didn't understand that one. Did not understand that one. Greg Sashi, thank you, sir. On Venmo, appreciate you. He says preseason fast approaching. I wish I was looking forward to it, Greg, but thank you. Remember, Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show. Cash App or Venmo. And thank you, Greg, on Venmo. Appreciate you, sir. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Very generous. Good week this week, man. We got the Panthers on Wednesday. Friday and Sunday, I'll be in Tampa for Metallica, going up with a buddy of mine. So going to have some fun. And looking forward to a little Burns Steakhouse on Saturday. So going to enjoy a nice dinner. And then next week, Peter Hook is in town. Here a little Joy Division and New Order. I like that. It's at by the way, I've never been to the Band Shell in Miami Beach. If anybody has got a scouting report for me, never even heard of it. It's the first time. I didn't even know there was a place in Miami Beach that they held concerts. So I'm all good. And I'm looking forward to it because Peter and his band are excellent. I've never seen a band fronted by 2 bass players. Obviously, Peter, who's come up with all the legendary bass riffs of Joy Division and New Order. You can't have Joy Division and New Order's music without bass. It's like the heart and soul of it, you know? And then he has another bass player. I've never seen that in my life. 2 bass players leading a band. They're like the lead guitarists. The guitar is kind of the rhythm section of the band, and the bass is rhythm and lead. So it's interesting. It's an interesting jam. So I'm kind of looking forward to next week to seeing that. What else do we have going on in the world of sports and life and everything else? Michael Saylor, cheesy little buy. He only bought 705 Bitcoin for 75 million at 106,495 average. They now have strategy 580,955 Bitcoin at a value of $40.68 billion. an average of 70,023 each Bitcoin. Tom Lee today on CNBC said that Bitcoin is going to $3 million each coin. That is insanity, bro. Absolute insanity. Okay. And Russia's largest bank now has bonds backed by Bitcoin. It's happening. It's happening, hot stuff. I'm just saying. So if it goes to 3 million, that's a 30x from here. Anybody in for 30x? Okay. We're at 5x when I told you it's 16,000. Just saying. Let's say. Daniel Guzman says, I'm expecting 5 to 6 wins for the Finns. All I know is I don't expect a good season, and I expect us to not be in the playoffs. Whether they win 9 or 8 or 5 or 6 or 7, does it really matter to me? You just spent another year of, hamster wheel. That's all. Look, I will say this. If the season ends with you firing McDaniel at some point and Weaver becomes the head coach, I got to tell you something. I'm going to be a very happy Dolphins fan. Because I know this is the part that some of you are going to get pissed at me. Okay? And that's fine. It's all good, man. It's sports. We can disagree, and I'm going to disagree with you, and I'm going to say dumb things, and I'm going to make dumb suggestions and all that kind of stuff, and this might be one of them for you. I like Chris Greer as the personnel guy. I like him. I've watched a lot of talent come through here. We just have to keep the right ones and let go of the right ones, and we have to have the right coach and coaching staff. And all we keep doing is changing and changing and changing. And I don't know if the next personnel guy will be able at least to find personnel like this guy. He can do it. He's just had some terrible luck with the whole coaching stuff. But if I get Weaver and one guy can find talent and the other guy can coach and coach men, I start to feel better about our chances. But who's the next GM and who's the next coach if it's not Weaver or whoever? I don't know. And it's not like everything that's been done for 40 years has worked. So it's not like I'm going to assume that the next person that comes is definitely going to be the guy. So, and listen, we don't have to agree. It's sports. Whatever. It's all good. I don't agree with Democrats or Republicans. So, I'm more of right in the middle. It's life. It's the way it goes. What are you going to do? I think both sides are full of buffoons. Look at this side now. Well, we're going to do all kinds of cuts. Doge made about 100 to 160 billion of cuts, which really can't even be proven at 160. But now they come up with a bill that's 4 trillion. So it's like you say one thing and you do completely the other. And that's what they all do, by the way. So, whatever. You're going to disagree with me on sports. You'll disagree with me on if you're a Dem or you're a Republican. So it's kind of the way it goes. That's life. By the way, I do want to remind you today is day 18,725 since the Miami Dolphins lifted the Vince Lombardi trophy. Okay. Day number 18,725. It's only been a few days. Let's see. Big O, any chance the Dolphins defense runs 6 D linemen and 5 linebackers with no secondary and just blitz the hell out of everybody? LOL. Josh Boyer style, bro. We need Josh Boyer for this defense. That's what we need. He's the expert of blitzing without a secondary. They should at least remove the ball from the trophy and give the other half to someone else. That would have been fair, I think, says Juan Rosa. I don't know, bro. I don't know how you don't give it to Halliburton. To me, it made no sense whatsoever. I saw it and I was like, wow. Only the WNBA makes worse decisions than the NBA. I mean, give me a break. Let me do a little music and music history and all that good stuff. Let's get to it. Let's start off with musicians born on this date, which is June 2nd. We're already into the halfway part of the year here in the last month. All right, let's start off with Louis Freeze. Louis Freeze, Be Real, from Cypress Hill, born in 1970. Let's see who else celebrating birthdays. Tony Hadley, the singer for Spandau Ballet. This much is true. 1960 for Tony. Michael Steele, bassist, guitarist, singer, songwriter. And she began her career as Mickey Steele with the band The Runaways. So it must be Michelle, but it's spelled Michael. Did she have some kind of a sex change or something? Mickey Steele. Spelled Michael, but it's probably pronounced Michelle, right? Anyway, Chubby Tavares from, of course, Tavares. There you go. Heaven must be missing an angel, missing one angel child, because you're here with me right now. Born in 1950. Your love is heavenly, baby. Heavenly to be. Let's go with William Guest, one of the Pips with Gladys Knight. Born in 1941. We lost him in 2015. Heart failure, 74. Charlie Watts, former drummer of the Rolling Stones. We lost him at 80 in 2021. Hall of Famer. Earl Young, founder and leader of the Tramps. Disco Inferno, burn, baby, burn. Let's see who else. And that is it with musicians. Let's go with other famous people celebrating birthdays today. If I don't say the age, that means they're dead. They have passed away. U.S. First Lady Martha Washington. She was born in 1731. She of the wood. No, it's not her. Is Martha Washington the one with the wooden teeth? Or is it Betsy Ross? Somebody had wooden teeth. Didn't George Washington also have wooden teeth? Anyway, writer Thomas Hardy, born in 1840. U.S. First Lady Helen Taft, born in 1861. Actor Stacy Keach, born in 41. He's 84. God bless him. Jerry Mathers, the Beaver, born in 48. He's 77. Gary Bettman, born in 52. He's 73. Dennis Haysbert, the President, 24. Or the commercial, right? Born in 54, 71. Dana Carvey, so good. Born in 55, he's 70. TV personality Andy Cohen, he's a trip. Born in 68, he's 57. Comedian Joe Coy, he's a trip. Born in 71, he's 54. That whole skit where he differentiates Asians, freaking hilarious, dude. Just hilarious. Comedian Wayne Brady, born in 72, he's 53. Actor Wentworth Miller, born in 72, he's 53. Zachary Quinto, actor, born in 77, he's 41. Actor Nikki Cox, born in 78, 47. Morena Baccarin, the gorgeous one, born in 79, she's 46. Abby Wambach, hell of a soccer player, born in 80, she's 45. And that's it for famous people. Sean Stanley, do you have wrestlers born on this date? And also that nugget, you probably looked it up.
Yeah, it's a fable. She did not have wooden teeth. Neither did George Washington.
No wooden teeth? Oh, okay.
No wooden teeth. The dentures were made of a combination of human teeth, cow teeth, and ivory from elephants and hippos.
I always wondered, splinters and shit, you know? Anyway, go ahead. I'm sorry.
The phenomenal AJ Styles is 48. Chessman is 50. The newly crowned NXT Women's Champion, JC Jane, she turns 29. Lex Luger turned 67. And Velvet Sky, she is 44 today on June 2nd, 2025.
You always get the guy that throws out the overrated get Chucky, a.k.a. Gruden, as the next coach. But let me ask you something. Mr. Quarterback, who did he draft and develop? Just want to know. You know, I've watched Andy Reid develop quarterbacks in Philadelphia. I've watched him develop quarterbacks in Kansas City. I've watched him make Alex Smith a better quarterback. Didn't draft him. I'm just wondering, John Gruden ever draft his own quarterback and develop him? How is he a quarterback guru if he never did that? Just wondering. Didn't do it with the Raiders. He got an old quarterback. Never did it in Tampa Bay. Just saying. Oh, because he won a Super Bowl? Did you notice what happened after? He had one of the generational defenses. He won the Super Bowl, and then after what? Just got worse and worse and worse and worse. So I don't know, dude. I'm not a Gruden believer, but whatever. I get it. He goes back on TV and does a couple of stupid QB things, and some of you hook, line, and sinker. Yeah, I want Weaver. I don't think you'll find anything better right now. Miami is not good enough to attract great coaches anymore. Just look at the results. Adam Gase, Cam Cameron, Tony Sperano, Brian Flores, Mike McDaniel. We're not getting anything anymore. The days of like a Parcells or a Saban or some, they'll go to an organization that's got their shit together. And we never do. So I don't want Gruden, who's already been out of football for a while now. Been a lot of coaching turnover. I wouldn't want him at all. Weaver is the guy I want. The guy I want is in-house. So not that I'm rooting for McDaniel to get fired, but I expect him to get fired. And that's when I will be resurrected again with a little bit of hope now. My love for the Dolphins will never die, unfortunately. I wish I could, by the way. It would be nice for me to forget about it because, man, it's just like a lot of heartache I can forget about. But I can't. It's a drug that I'm completely hooked to and can't get away from it. Love the Dolphins. Want to see them win. But it's not going to stop me from being honest and tell you they're not going anywhere. You know, The day O retires, I'm going to say something really, really stupid as a joke. And if I get blocked, doesn't deserve, sounds like a good idea. There you go. Doesn't sound like a good idea. O is singing, I think. Where is the mute button? Yeah, you should. Every time I sing, you should reach for the mute button. That's a good rule, Finn. That's a very good one on your part, sir. I don't blame you. So, the Beaver is 77. Wow. Church Lady is 70. Oh, man. Why do you like Chris Grier so much? He has given out a lot of bad contracts and can't get the right coach. Let's move on. Clean house. I think I've already talked about it over and over again. Let's see what else. Weaver will need to be a dream Weaver with the lack. Oh, no, I'm not. I don't expect him to do anything with the team at the moment. But let's see if we can build around the man. You know, that's what I would like. So I just don't have this illusion that we're going to get a great coach, because that's just crap. It's a disillusion, right? It's just, no, I don't believe we're going to get there's no great coach sitting out there that's going to solve, and a great GM and all that. So I'd rather hire Weaver now. He knows what he's got. And then he can then do what he thinks is right from there on out, and hopefully. But, yeah. So, yeah, there's a lot of stupid things that have been done. I would have never guaranteed Tyreek the money. You know? That was stupid. Dumb. Extending McDaniel, stupid. But again, I'm not even, if Grier survives, I'm convinced McDaniel wasn't his. And so if it was the people above, he had to work with him. So they can't fire him for their mistake. They can't fire him because he tried to accommodate their hire. So that's the problem, that if he only screwed up with Flo and this is not his screw up, then this clouds everything. Now, if he gets fired with McDaniel, then that was his guy. But it's so weird the way this offseason was handled. It was handled like the GM is surviving and the head coach is on his own, dude. That's what I see. So if that's the case, not that we'll ever find out, not that they'll tell you, because they were not going to tell you. Like if Grier comes back and they fire McDaniel and they hire Weaver and they continue, and then somebody asks, well, wait a minute, what happened was, Chris, did you hire McDaniel? And why is it that you're getting to, and he'll say, well, listen, it's a team decision. It didn't work out. We're going in this direction. That's it. He's not going to say, no, McDaniel wasn't my pick. It was the guys above me. Garfinkel and Ross wanted him, and I just worked with him. And I had to work with him because the owner wanted him. So what am I going to do? Not work with him? And then he goes to the owner and says, well, the guy won't work with me. That's the part I don't know. This is the owner that went out and tried to get Harbaugh and went out and tried to get, what's it called? Peyton. And without his coach knowing. So I don't know. I don't know what to believe anymore when it comes to these guys. And that's where, I don't know how many times we have to repeat this, but it's what it is. So I'm going to find out. It'll eventually all happen. Okay? This season's going to come to a head at one point or another, and push is going to come to shove, and they're going to have to shove somebody off, and I expect it to be McDaniel. And then we'll find out if it was Chris Grier's pick or not, if Chris Grier follows. If he doesn't, then it's what I'm telling you. And if that's the case, you can't fire Griff for that. Because the owner and the president got in the way and muddied the whole situation. That's not cool. So there you go. We'll find out. Time answers all. But this offseason was handled like my job is safe, yours isn't. That's how this entire offseason was handled. It was handled like a general manager planning for the future and not planning for the present for the current head coach. Anybody going to argue with me on that? What you did in the draft fundamentally is what you should have done. And adding James Daniels at right guard, you didn't even go out and get a top-notch right guard, but you went out and got a guard because you have to protect the quarterback. It's not about saving the head coach's job. It's because, well, the quarterback's going to stick around. We got to protect the guy. So they went and got Daniels, and then they drafted Savi Naya. Is that how it is? Savi Naya? I forgot how it is, but whatever. We'll learn that one eventually. Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show. Cash App or Venmo. Jaffrard, thank you, sir, for the love on Venmo. Very nice of you. Very generous. Thank you for the show. I truly enjoy it. Keep up the good work. Hope you get to go to Spain. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And remember, you can make a donation and get us to Spain. All right? So if you get a chance, make a donation. We'd appreciate it immensely. There's the QR code. Send in whatever you can. Because this guy here doesn't lie to you like, remember that guy that chimed in? Well, why should I help you go to Spain if you say the season's going to be bad? Because I'm not a liar, sir. And this is the peak of the year. Probably our Spain game. It's probably going to be our peak. You know? What are you going to do? The rest of our season is going to be a joke by New Bomb Turk. That's all. It's going to land like a fart song from New Bomb Turk. Volare. So, anybody watch the Hollywood Nights? Do they drive you crazy? Those Hollywood Nights? Me and my baby? That's right, Think Blue Dodgers. Smash it. Like you guys smashed the Yankees this weekend. 2 out of 3. Dodgers were able to, the Yankees were able to save from getting swept yesterday. But nice job taking down the Yanks. That's good. Anybody that beats the Yankees is a friend of mine. Plus, I got to say, you know what? I've been at Dodger Stadium for a Dodgers game more than I've been to Marlins Park for a Marlins game. I think I've been to 3 or 4 Dodgers games. And I've only been to I think maybe 2 or 3 Marlins games since it opened. Only gone a couple times. I've gone for concerts. It's crazy. It's crazy, dude. Because when I go to LA, and it's baseball season, if it's baseball season. If it's not, I'm screwed. But if it's baseball season, you got to go to Chavez Ravine. I don't care what fan you are. If you go to LA and you like baseball and you don't go watch a game at Chavez Ravine, you're a loser. you are not treating yourself to one of the greatest baseball experiences on the planet. On the planet. Best views. Oh my God. It's inside a valley. And when you go to the top of Dodger Stadium, you can walk the rim of it, and the views are awesome. Breathtaking. Breathtaking. I've never seen a stadium like that. It's built in the 50s, and it looks impeccable to this day. Super clean, bro. God, so awesome. Great atmosphere. Man, really, really cool. I envy all of that. As a Marlins fan, going to a Dodgers game is baseball heaven. It really is. It's the perfect place for baseball. So, think Blue Dodgers. You know, you got to give credit when credit is due. And when it comes to baseball, the Dodgers just do everything right when it comes to baseball. Plus, they had the greatest of all time announcing in Vin Scully. True Fin fan. Like Lurch, we speak farts, and he says, "You rang." So there you go. Any chance you and Sean run with the Bulls while in Spain? I laugh at those assholes. I always laugh at those assholes. I mean, seriously, I root for the Bull. I'm not sure about you guys, but I root for the Bull. I do. I mean, it's not the Bulls' fault. Poor thing ends up in a stadium somewhere where they're stabbing it constantly and all that. I mean, you know, it's kind of gross. So, you want to make fun of the Bull and then you get the horns? I got no problem with that. I'm laughing. I saw one the other day where the guy got caught and he got lifted and thrown and all that, and I'm laughing my ass off. Guy looks like he's half dead or something, but I mean, seriously, I have no sympathy for you. None. You chose to try to dodge a 2,000-pound animal that can gouge you and kill you or maim you or leave you paralyzed or a vegetable. You're an idiot, bro. Like, where is that a sport? You ever seen that thing viral? The guy that is on his balcony in a hotel, and he jumps it's 5-6 stories up into the pool. You want to hit the concrete and miss the pool? Bro, I'm going to laugh at you. I mean, seriously, you want to do something that stupid? I'm not sure. I can't help you. So, yeah, I literally enjoy watching the Bull. When the guy gets away, I'm like, damn. So when I run into it, I look forward to the Bull gouging people. Because if you're going to be stupid enough to do this, there's no way. You know, I'm going to have any sympathy for you, bro. Just not. What else do we have? I think Blue Dodger says, you're right. Oh, one of the best atmospheres around. It's not even close. I've been to a few baseball stadiums, and right down the street, the Padres have a beautiful stadium, dude. They don't have half your atmosphere. Half. No, it's just badass, bro. Chavez Ravine is badass. A couple of years ago, you can see the snow on the top of the mountains from the stadium. It looked beautiful. Yeah. It's the only stadium that you can do shit like that. You got to do it one day. If you get a chance and you go to Dodger Stadium, walk all around the stadium, but never leave out the tip top of it, because they got a nice little walkway all around, And my God, the views are legendary. Breathtaking. So, was the best man for a bachelor's party at Dodger Stadium. What a memory. Wow. Pretty cool. We should send True Fin Fan to MetLife Stadium after eating a dozen DQ hot dogs with extra chili. Yeah, but it's going to kill our Dolphins too. Nobody's immune to that. You know what I'm saying? Maybe True Fin Fans' family is a little immune to it because they're kind of used to it. They've grown around it. But if you do it, it's got to be a non-Dolphin game, like Jets-Bills. And then we plant them in there, pounding away DQ hot dogs. Then he puts away 2 division rivals. That makes our job a little easier. That's how you do it. I mean, I don't want to hurt my team. The Dolphins do enough. The Dolphins themselves are in the running of the bull every year, and we're the ones that get the horns. I mean, seriously, that's what it feels like. Why the hell do we have to go to Pamplona for the running of the bulls? The Dolphins give us the horns every time. Every year. Horns from the Dolphins. Thanks, Miami. Anyway. Yeah, I know. Hot Lips passed away. Loretta Swit. Yep. I saw that. Rest in peace. Nobody ever broke MASH's record for their clothes. It was like 100 million people watching the show. Like nobody's ever broken that record. It's pretty badass. And it was a show that was, at that time it was legendary. Like everybody watched MASH. It was just like one of those things. I was able to go to Fenway Park in 93. What a feeling. And Fenway's a cool place. I've never been there. Gotta go to Fenway. That one is on the bucket list to go to Fenway. That would actually be cool if we can do that. I'd like for the Marlins to actually matter for once. Would be nice. All right, folks, we're out of here. We appreciate you all out there. We thank, of course, the great Sean Stanley. Thanks to all of you out there. If you hit the like button, I see we're up to 92. Not bad, not bad. You could get us over 100 easy right now before we close. So if you haven't hit the like button, please hit the like button. Get us over 100. And if you're watching, listening anytime, please hit the like button there on the podcast, on YouTube. Share it, all that good stuff. Visit our amazing sponsors. We thank, of course, Sean Stanley and all of you out there. We'll see you tomorrow. Same time, same place, same bat channel.